So, Kimmel. First of all, I'm going to say this. I knew Jimmy way back when, long before Man Show. So I was at a station, KRF 101, Los Angeles, and we had bought their station, which was called K-Rock. He was the morning show sports guy. So Jimmy the sports guy. In fact, Jimmy the sports guy didn't even have a sidekick yet, which was Adam Carolla. And Adam just showed up one day and snuck into the place, was going to teach Jimmy how to box. That's the kind of long. He became something way different. And then as he got further into Hollywood, it's a hatred of Trump that is it is Trump derangement syndrome. He lives in this world now that is completely different than he used to be and who he used to be. Because if you watch The Man Show, I mean, juxtapose those two together. Have you ever seen The Man Show?
Oh, yeah. I used to watch it.
Yeah, well, of course, because they had girls with big boobs on and hoo-haws on trampolines.
Jumping up and down on trampolines.
Never get away with that these days.
No.
He used to do Carl Malone. Carl Malone liked to take basketball, put it in hoop, then go down and get his paycheck inside of the mailbox, because that's what Carl Malone sounded like. So he became something different. And then he got into Hollywood deeper. And then it was just wackadoo land. So Trump derangement syndrome, absolutely real. Is what he said the worst thing I've ever seen? No, because there were people all over the place who were doing 1,000 things worse. The problem is he lied. That was the big deal. He lied. He knew it, that this guy wasn't some MAGA red hat wearing, white supremacist. But he still went out and he said this.
We had some new lows over the weekend with the MAGA gang desperately trying to characterize this kid who murdered Charlie Kirk as anything other than one of them and doing everything they can to score political points from it.
And that's what he was trying to do. He's playing to his audience, which is small. By the way, all of their audiences are small.
Yeah, because they've alienated half the country.
And because the other half, even half the country that they would like to watch them, don't. Right. Because nobody watches. Who stays up and watches late night TV?
That's what I was telling my wife. I said, late night TV ratings are going away because the people they're watching who they want on social media. You've got entertainers on social media with hundreds of millions of viewers.
I watched, who was it the other day? Mr. Beast goes, "Hey guys, it's me, Mr. Beast. I just got my 400 millionth subscriber."
Yes.
400 million subs.
And wasn't Kimmel making like 16 million a year or something like that?
Yeah. That was it.
And
for what? $1.5 million? He's not even, by the way, Colbert has a bigger audience than Jimmy does.
Yeah, Kimmel was third. Like as of September, he was third.
This to me, when Nexstar, which was the TV company that pulled him off of all of their ABC affiliates, which started this, when they did that, I think ABC looked at it and goes, well, this bleeding wound has to stop.
But here's the thing with Nexstar, for you guys don't know. Remember when Trump got that nice little payoff from CBS, Paramount back in the day? So why? Because the FCC was never going to greenlight anything until they had taken care of that issue. And they did, and then Paramount got to go to the hands of Ellison. Nexstar they have the most TV stations in the country. And if you know anything about the broadcasting industry, to try to slow down monopolies, they limit you to certain things. Nexstar is trying to buy Tegna, which has Nexstar's, most of their stations are small and medium. Tegna has big stations, Dallas and all over. And guess what? They're already tapped out. They can't go any further. But the chairman of the FCC thinks that could be antiquated. We may have to make some changes, so we'll see. So it's more than just this situation where everybody's like, oh, I mean, yeah, getting rid of Kimmel, get rid of them all. Nobody watches late night TV. Nobody does. Because we're fragmented. People watch television when they watch it on their phones, the younger generation. They're certainly not tuning into Jimmy Kimmel. They're watching TikToks.
Yeah, I think ABC, just like CBS, this is what was going to happen to Colbert and Kimmel anyway.
Yeah.
This just allowed them to do it faster.
Yeah. But as Bell said, you can't say stuff like this. So this is the FCC Chair Carr talking.
In some quarters, there's a very concerted effort to try to lie to the American people about the nature, as you indicate, of one of the most significant newsworthy public interest acts that we've seen in a long time. And what appears to be an action by Jimmy Kimmel to play into that narrative that this was somehow a MAGA or Republican motivated person. If that's what happened here with his conduct, that is really, really sick. I mean, look, we can do this the easy way or the hard way.
We can do this the easy way or the hard way. They called them and said, you better figure something out. And Sinclair, who, by the way, is also the same group that, do you remember when Sinclair had to everybody had to read the same thing?
Oh, yeah. They put out that, what was it, a promo?
A promo.
And there's actually videos on YouTube of all their stations. It's like a collage video, and all of these different newscasters are reading the same script at the same time.
Yes, and they're to the right. So you've got one group that wants them to change the rules at the FCC and allow them to buy Tegna for $6.2 billion. They're getting rid of Kimmel. Anything to smooth it over. And if you don't think this is a big deal, the Democrats toyed around when Biden was in office that, hey, talk radio is extremely right-wing. Maybe we need to have some fairness doctrine where we start breaking the stations up and making sure there's a balance everywhere. Oh,
yep.
That's the issue. Because if you think it stops here, flash forward 10 years, and then it's, President Bernie Sanders, because he's still alive. No, or somebody, Gorman out and another guy said, like, AOC, and she decides something like that. Or you've got to think about what are the repercussions, because Trump, not only did he say how horrible he was and all that stuff, he also came out and said, Jimmy and Seth, you're next. We don't want that. I don't want the government involved. You want to fire somebody for being awful, ABC? Come out and say it.
Yeah.
Have the cojones to go, look, dude, it's partly you, and it's also partly this is a medium that nobody cares about unless it's sports. That's it. Nobody watches this anymore unless it's sports. So we're moving on, and that's that. Come out and have the cojones. But if the government is saying, we could do this the easy way or the hard way, that's a suggestion. No, that's the kind of mob suggestion. Would you like the silver? Would you like the lead? And we want to make sure our government stays out of that. We want that. Jimmy he's awful. He's not funny. By the way, he was never a stand-up comic. He's just not funny. But when I look at this, it should worry people. It should absolutely worry people. Because they go, oh, this might be a little, this isn't you got fired because you're crap. We already know he was crap. He wasn't any good. Nobody's watching it. I mean, he's behind Jimmy Fallon. By the way, I've seen Jimmy a couple times. I don't even think he talks much about politics. Mostly it's to people in the Midwest, and he does dances and sings songs.
Yeah, Jimmy Fallon?
Yeah.
Yeah, I used to watch Jimmy regularly. It's been years ago because I loved him on Saturday Night Live.
And he's so funny.
I thought he was very funny, and I never saw anything political from him.
He did some, but, no more than a Johnny Carson would have done.
Right. He actually had Trump on one time where Trump let him mess his hair up.
Yeah, and by the way, 2016, go look it up. Kimmel and Trump were together. He came on that show. And yeah, Jimmy lost his mind. He's got Trump derangement syndrome. But the bigger issue is, should government be able to put pressure in such a way where they're deciding, oh, we don't want this here? And then you've got companies out there that most people aren't even talking about where they're trying to get stuff through. And, hey, this is going to look great. This is extra credit. What do you think is going to happen now? They'll change the rules so these guys can do more than anybody else has? Let's be fair. And everybody's going to be like, well, what about this? What about that? Remember, like Fox News and all that stuff, that's all different. The FCC really only has technical kind of oversight when it comes to certain things. They don't have any kind of programming. You can't come after because it's not the airwaves like it is here. You're not licensed in that kind of way. I mean, nobody was calling for, a few people were. Brian Kilmeade last week, if you guys didn't hear, he suggested, why don't we just euthanize the homeless? And then he came out and apologized the next day, but it got lost because it was kind of the same day that what happened with Charlie.
Did he really say that?
Oh, my God. We'll play it when we come back. I've got it. It is. It is crazy. We'll talk about that.
Goodness.
I know, right? Just crazy.